This morning, the federal judge who signed the warrant to search former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club 2 weeks ago is hinting we may not get to see the affidavit used to justify that search. The judge said in a written order just a short time ago that he asked the Justice Department to provide proposed redactions to see whether there is anything he can release or if the proposed redactions could render the document meaningless. This comes as a new NBC News poll found that 57% of voters say the investigations into former President Donald Trump should continue. 40% say they should stop. That poll, which comes 78 days before voters head to the polls for the midterm elections, is also giving us a kind of a sense of how Americans feel about the state of the country right now. The poll finds that nearly 3/4 of voters say the country is headed in the wrong direction. This is the fifth straight poll that number has been above 70%. At the same time, a record 58% of Americans say the country's best years are behind it. 61% say they are so upset they're willing to carry a protest sign for a day. With us now to talk about this, Mark Caputo, senior national political reporter for NBC News Digital, Yamiche Alcindor, NBC News Washington correspondent and moderator of Washington Week on PBS, and Jessica Roth, former federal prosecutor who is now a professor at Yeshiva University's Cardozo School of Law. So we'll have more on the polling in just a minute. But Mark, what else did the judge have to say in his order just a short time ago?
I mean, for me, what really stood out is this was mentioned in court on Friday when I was there. But the judge specifically mentioned, I'm going to try to kind of read it from the ruling, that he said that, given the public notoriety and controversy about the search, it's unlikely that witnesses who aren't expressly named in the affidavit would be quickly and broadly identified over social media and other communications channels. And that could lead to them being harassed and intimidated. The judge is putting a very fine point, a very clear exclamation point on an argument that the government raised, which was, look, people can really be harassed and intimidated here. And they had mentioned in court, the government's attorney, the instances of the FBI agents whose identities were sort of doxed in right-wing media online, and also the person who attacked the FBI office in Cincinnati. So these are matters of grave concern to the government, and the judge, in issuing his ruling or his opinion about this matter, made sure to reference those and underlined it and underscored it as being a matter of great importance.
So, Mark, is this like a change of heart by the judge? It seems as though, as you were saying just last week, he was saying, I'm inclined to release it or release as much as the government is willing to let me release.
Right. I have to say, like, from what I heard the judge say and from what I read here, it's not that different. I never expected the judge would release this sort of information, and the judge never made it clear, Judge Reinhart, that he planned to. There might be some things that look like sort of backing off, but generally his posture was, look, I understand there's sources and methods and there's information and identities of witnesses that could be disclosed, and those shouldn't be disclosed, but the public should be able to have some right for understanding more about this matter. He did mention in court that he did mention in court, hey, look, well, what if all these redactions happen and it's a meaningless disclosure? And then the judge had also said, but, that's basically not the government's problem or his problem. That's the news media's problem. If they wind up, or if we wind up with hugely or heavily redacted documents, then what we do with it is up to us. Now, he does mention this as being a potential problem going forward, so maybe that's a change of heart here. But the tone from the judge that I heard on Friday and what this ruling says are very much in line.